Welcome to Herf Zone Live. I'm here every single Tuesday to bring you the best content weekly. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube, search for Team Shirtless Mike, and follow on Facebook at Shirtless Mike. You can reach out to me on Instagram at Shirtless Mike 2020. See what goes on in my life, and hopefully I can see what goes on in yours. Herf Zone Live is expanding. Get your product in front of hundreds of viewers every single week. Let me advertise your cigar or product to my audience. DM me, let's exchange information and get you part of the Team Shirtless Mike team. What is going on, everybody? We got a lot of people already starting to tune in here for the show. So I'm going to give some shout outs right here. What's up to my boy Adam Machado? And man, we got somebody in Australia watching right now, all the way in Australia. My paisan Michael Panisi. Everybody else that's watching, if you want to see your comments on the screen, the best way to do that is go to my Shirtless Mike like page, and whenever those comments they pop up on my feed here on StreamYard, and I can put it on the screen and everything. Regardless, no matter where you leave the comments at, it's going to count towards the giveaway tonight. And yes, we do have an awesome giveaway. I received the swag right after work, so I took a picture, but the picture doesn't really do it as much justice as as seeing it. So I'm gonna show this live on video here. So Pedro and Drew Estate, they were super kind to send four different, four Nica Rustica sets. So it includes several different things. So each set is a couple pieces. So this is a stainless steel thermos, a stainless steel, this is actually a lighter, not a cutter, and a leather cigar travel pouch. So that is all in here. And I'm just going to show you this travel pouch because I'm not trying to open up everything, but you got to see this. So this is beautiful. It's beautiful right here. Like, Drew Estate, they don't play around when it comes to their swag. So this is awesome, and it comes with a lighter in there. It says cutter on the box for your information, but regardless, it's actually a really cool lighter. Actually, let me show this to you guys. Uh, I'm not opening anything other than for the fact to show you guys. So comes with an awesome Nica Rustica lighter, and that's badass, like straight up. So all you have to do to win this, there's going to be 4 lucky winners of the swag packs tonight. So all you got to do is watch the show, leave comments, and I'm going to be going live directly after the show so that so you'll have to tune in the same way that you are watching me now. I'm trying to get all this in here. Anyway, the same way that you're watching me now, however you're tuning into me, you just go back when I will go live on all 3 platforms, all 3 places. So yeah, this is. Oh, and I forgot to pull out one thing. So this is the thermos right here. It's pretty badass. It's all Nica Rustica, everything. And yeah, so we'll talk more of it as people join throughout, the night and everything. But I'm gonna wait to put that back after the show. And then I'm not gonna pull out the ashtray, but it comes with a ceramic ashtray. See this right here? Badass. I probably should have took it out before the show, but I don't want to take all the time taking stuff out in the packaging because you guys are ready to for the show. And this also comes with a cigar rest. So I really wish I should, whoever wins, you'll get to see it. So, and it also comes with 2 different candles. And I forgot the names of them, but the candles right here. So that's all part of the set. So yeah, get those comments in before we bring Pedro on. Though I'm gonna just put some comments up on screen. Shouts out to Sean Copeland tuning in. And yeah, man. So without further ado, from the Cigar Hustler Universe Podcast Network Green Room, where you'll find the Cigar Hustlers podcast and the Chet and Palmer Shit Show. Welcome to Herf Zone Live, Pedro Gomez from Drew Estate. What's going on, brother? How you doing tonight?
Yo, my man. Thank you so very much for having me in your show. It is a privilege to be at Shirtless Mike. So what's going
Absolutely.
on in your work, buddy?
Man, it was a good day at work, man. You know, I work at Smoke Ring 72 in beautiful Merritt Island, Florida, and you know, Tuesdays are a little quiet, so it wasn't too bad. You know, not too many orders to put away or nothing like that. So I got to smoke a few good cigars and prepare for tonight's show. And let me tell you, like I already know Drew Estate doesn't they don't play around. You guys do not play when it comes to the swag. But when I pulled up to the house after work, I saw a big ass box, you know, with Drew Estate on
Mhm.
the side, and it was so big that my grandma couldn't even lift it to bring it in the house. So I was like, so as soon as she came outside, you know, she had to get the car for me, and I had to lug that in the house, and I was like, I didn't even know what to expect with it, and you know, you guys definitely, you know, you guys are the leader when it comes to swag, so.
Well, thank you so very much, bro. I truly appreciate your nice compliment. I mean, everything that we do at Drew Estate, we don't do it to look good. We do it for everybody up there, all the cigar fans, not just on Drew Estate. Because when it comes to cigar, there are so many great cigars to choose from. I mean, matter of fact, you are in a cigar store, so the amount of people that comes and buys and tries new cigars, and most importantly, the amount of cigars that you recommend to other cigar smokers, and it is very important to us to make not just to make, but to do something really nice, especially for those people that has been supporting Drew Estate.
Absolutely, and then that's what it's all about. So, we're gonna get into this interview here. We're gonna get it start off a little bit with, you know, getting to know Pedro more. You know, you've been on a bunch of shows, but you know, not every, you know, just you know, algorithms on social media. Not everybody might have seen somebody else's show, you know, and even though a lot of us share viewers, like you know, there's gonna be new people checking this out. So, tell us okay, we're gonna get started here. You know, you're originally from Nicaragua, Esteli,
Right.
correct?
That is correct, bro.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about, you know, just your childhood and growing up at Esteli. Like, what's it like, you know, growing up at Esteli, Nicaragua?
My man, well, first of all, thank you so very much for asking me that question. Every time that I have the opportunity to talk about cigars and tobacco, of course, it's Drew Estate. It's all the brands that we make and all the brands that we keep them relevant in the market. And when somebody asks me a question like that, I'm very grateful, and it has been a beautiful journey, man. Like growing up in Esteli, Nicaragua, it is very interesting, Mike, if you think about this way. I mean, you know, and you have heard. I don't know if you have ever been
No, not
in
yet.
Esteli.
That'll come one day in the future.
Okay, it's gonna come very soon. How about that? So, but when it comes to the cigar world, premium cigars, if you ask any person up there, hey, you know Nicaragua, they don't even know where Nicaragua is. And
Hmm.
forget about Esteli. But when it comes to cigars, when it comes to guys that love cigars, they know where Nicaragua is. I will say few of them have been in my hometown, which is Esteli. But growing up in Esteli is where my heart is where my family is where all the friends that I grew up with, that's what they are. And when I have the opportunity to go back home, it is one of the most excited trip that I have, and I try to enjoy as much as I can. But growing up in Esteli, it was a very, I don't know if I can, sometimes, sometimes I can't contain my passion and my French vocabulary start to pump up. But I don't know if you want to keep it family oriented or if you want me to go all the way.
Listen, you could go all the way. It's Herf Zone Live. My name is Shirtless Mike. Of course, we're gonna go all the
Man.
way. And it's still family oriented, but for you got to be over the age of 21 to smoke cigars. So
That's right.
nobody under the age of 21 is watching the show anyway. Okay, FDA.
That's right. Well, for me, yeah, growing up check this out. Growing up in a third world country, what it's like. For a lot of people that are here in this country, probably they have seen memories like that through movies, or maybe documentaries. The last documentary that I watched, well, I have followed big time this guy, but the last one that I watched, it was Bob Marley, and seeing, where he came from. Everybody knows his music, but not few people really have known his story, or more importantly, few people have known him or had the opportunity to know him personally. He passed away a long time ago, 1981. But what Bob Marley did for the music and what Bob Marley represent in the world, it is timeless. His legacy. So I'm not gonna compare myself to Bob Marley, of course not. But growing up in a third world country is not easy. No, nobody give you nothing. You have to earn it.
Hmm.
And I start to, I mean, from my vivid memories from my childhood, I didn't grow up with toys. I didn't know what was that. I mean, my family was, we were humble, like poor. Sometimes nothing to eat at home, and that's why I started to work when I was uh, when I was 11 years old. I didn't know nothing about playing and toys and none of that stuff. But I knew that if I work hard on something, I might do something for myself and be somebody in the future. I didn't even know that what God will have for me in the future. And God has been the only one that I believe, and the only one that I have. And without Him, I will never be what I am, and I will never be nobody. So I always keep myself on the ground, and thinking, that things could be really worse. That's why you have to
Hmm.
be very grateful. So yeah, I grew up down there. I learned the trade of making saddles. The first 2 years it was tough because I dropped out of school because I want to be the best saddle maker in Nicaragua. My thing was about making money, making money. I was making like little money, bro.
Yeah.
Not even like thinking to make a living. You were just surviving. And because everybody was just like that, you didn't have no expectation whatsoever. And then I realized after 2 years, like when I knew how to make salads, and it took me too long because I was running the errands of the saddle shop. So I spent, out of the 12 hours I was working every day, I will say maybe 2 or 3 hours they were teaching me how to make saddles. And the rest of the time I was not in a motorcycle, in a bicycle, running all around town, running those errands, bro. But I was very grateful that my boss back in that time, uh, dude. Okay, so check this out. My boss in that time, he gave me lunch when we didn't have nothing to eat at home. And my previous lunch before this guy, that unfortunately he passed away, so rest in peace.
Mm.
But my previous boss, he didn't give me nothing, so I was giving like free work for 3 months until this gentleman found me in one of those stores, and he asked me, "Hey, I'm looking for somebody to run my errands in my saddle shop, and so I heard things about you. So do you know how to read and write?" Which is something back in that time, which was very unusual. I
Yeah.
said, "Yes, sir. I know how to read, write, and I know how to do little math too." All right, so if you want to work, come tomorrow, and then I'm gonna take care of you. Sure. And so I show up the next day, not the next day, Monday, because I had to go to my old job and tell them, "Hey, I'm not gonna be longer working for you guys." I said, "Oh, what are you gonna do, Pedrito?" "Well, I'm gonna do something else." And then the following weekend, the following week, they saw me working for Don Enrique. That was his name. Good guy, man, amazing heart. And in his saddle shop, it was him and I will say like 12 guys. And I'm talking about Mike, I'm talking about growing up men,
Mm.
guys that came from the streets. So, and then I start to see two sides of life, you know, things that you shouldn't be learning when you are 12, 13 years old. I was learning all the stuff. I was seeing and listening, and, you know, I was living the whole thing. So after 2 years, I decided to go back to school. And then I start going back to school, but I couldn't quit my job and the saddle shop. So, but my goal when I went to school was not to be the okay student. My goal was to be the goddamn best student, the best student in the fucking school. And I was attending to a public high school. So it was funny. I was going to school from 7 a.m. to 12. And then from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m., I was making saddles. So the student that I was going to school with, all of those guys, they were crazy guys, drug dealers, gangsters, and stuff like that. Back in those days, I was used to play basketball and they said to me, "Hey, Pedro, we got this project or this homework. I would like to do it." Of course, bro. And then we were doing it, but you have to come to the saddle shop and help me because I can get out of work early. No problem, bro. I'm gonna be there. Then most of them, they said, "Damn, bro, this is the environment where you work. I mean, what do you expect? This is not the NASA, bro. This is a fucking saddle shop." And they say, "No, man, I'm gonna stick around with you." So, and then that's how I can finish. In Nicaragua, there are 5 years when it comes to high school.
Mm.
That's how I could finish my high school in those 5 years. And then, yeah, I said to you that I used to play basketball, and that was my thing. That was where my mind was. And my thing about one thing that I learned about the game was the competitive nature. If I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna fucking do it right. If not, I'm not gonna do nothing. If my heart is not on it, forget about it. I have to
Forget
really,
about it.
yeah, I have to really first of all find out where my heart is, and I apply all the discipline and the vision and everything that comes in the middle to make that thing happen. So, long story short, when I graduated from high school, I didn't have nowhere to go. I couldn't afford to go to a public university back home in Nicaragua. And back in that time, the only universities were in the capital, which was like 2 hours away from my hometown in Esteli. We have one university, but I was like thinking, hey, I wish I can go, but I can't afford this. So, but the only thing that I had was when somebody told me in this organization that I was attending to, which was a Christian organization. The name of the organization is still active. It's called John Life. I don't know if you have heard about them. It's
John
about
Life.
John Life.
Oh, Young Life.
John Life. I
Okay,
was
okay.
part of it.
Yes, I have heard of that. Yes.
Yeah, and then matter of fact, through John Life, they literally rescued me because I was doing stupid stuff. I was young and I was, thinking that you can own the world, not thinking about the actions and stuff that you could do that eventually it will come back to you. And so I attend to this organization. I was attending to those different camps, telling young kids about, about Jesus Christ, and you inviting them to the camp. It was a beautiful thing, man. And then they said to me, "Hey, we have these two application forms, but the guys that we have been telling them to come and pick it up, they haven't come here, and I don't think that they want to apply." But I heard one of the guys said to me, "I heard that you have good grades from high school." Yes, I do, man. Well, nobody can guarantee you that you will gonna get this scholarship, but if you want to apply, go ahead and do it. And then I went to pick it up, and then I started to fill out the application form. Then I knew that the scholarship was found by the United States government, and it was managed by Georgetown University. That was the program that the United States government was doing for third world countries.
Mm.
And that program, it was Nicaragua, it was Honduras, it was Dominican Republic, Guatemala, Haiti, Mexico. So there were 6 countries. And out of every country, they will pick 3 or 2 students. So the major that I applied for in the first place, it was international commerce. And then I remember that when I finished my application form, I have to, the office of the scholarship program was in Managua, in the capital. So I wake up the following day, woke up very early, take a bus, take like 3 buses, like to get to the office. One from
Hmm.
Esteli to Managua. Then once you get to Managua, take different public transportation to get to the office. And then when I got there, I remember that the guy, one of the coordinator said to me, "Hey, well, I don't know if you're going to qualify or not, but you don't have to come all the way here. You can send this through mail." I was like, I don't trust nothing and nobody. So if something happened to the mail truck, I know that my opportunity just go out of the window. So I'd rather come here in person and make sure that you guys got my application form. So long story short, they were start to send me different application form, and they were like endless, like 20 pages where you have to you have to answer all the different questions that they want to know about you. And then after a year, at the same time when I was going to Managua, coming back to Esteli, I have to show up to work and then and be lucky, like maybe not even finding something to eat on the road. It was trying to get home and then eat my beans and my tortillas and whatever my mom has, and then go back to work. When I was going back to the saddle shop, they were teasing me, they were making fun of me and said, "Bro, the only people that I know that they go to the United States, bro, there's a lot of people that they go undocumented, with no papers. And you're going to study, motherfucker? What the hell is wrong with you? There is no way that you're going to get that scholarship. You got those people, man. Everywhere you go, not everywhere, but certain, especially when you're in school, you got cool kids and assholes,
Yeah.
And I will say the majority of the people that I was working with, those motherfuckers, they were bad, bad. Eddie Kerman from South Park. I don't know if you have seen those cartoons.
Yep. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I grew up
Uh,
on South Park. I was watching it when I should not have been back in the day. But yeah, for sure.
yeah, and then when the coordinator told me, "Hey, you have been selected, and you are going to go to the United States in 2 weeks. So say goodbye to your family and your friends because you're going to the United States." I could not believe it. So the program sent me to Iowa, and then in Iowa, that's when I start to learn English. I'm still working on my English, Mike. So
Yeah.
sometimes, the accent just comes, and sometimes, some words that I shouldn't
Yeah.
pronounce, I should
Well,
pronounce
I'm
right.
used I'm used to it. My stepdad's from Colombia with a very thick accent, and he's a translator. So, I mean, his accent's not as thick as yours, but I'm very used to listening to people with thick accents.
That's right, bro. And then, I did all my best when I was in college. And the beautiful thing about it, it was the only time in my life that I didn't have to work. Matter of fact, the college, they were giving me money. And from that money, I was sending money back home to my mom to pay the bills, to pay the water, the electricity, to buy a little bit of food. And, I was trying to do my best and with the little thing that I had. And then I graduated as one of the top students from the college. I made it to the dean list. I got a certificate from Scott Community College, which was the college that I attend to. I got different certificates from Georgetown University and stuff like that. And even I was receiving letters from other universities that they want to recruit me with a scholarship, but my visa, it was a student visa.
Mm,
So I could not screw it up in thinking that I'm going to overstay my student visa. Otherwise, I will be killing the opportunity of
hmm.
future students that want to apply for the scholarship. So I decided to go back. When I went back, I was determined enough not to go back to the saddle shop. My plan was like this. Well, Pedro, Nicaragua is known for cigars, but
Hmm.
I only knew the factories, bro. I only knew the tobacco fields. I didn't know what was Once those cigar boxes or master cases goes into the containers, after that nobody knows. Nobody have seen. Maybe nowadays with social media, back home they can see what you guys do right here in the United States when it comes to cigar lounges, when it comes to cigar events, famous people that smoke cigars, cool people or any type of people. I mean, when it comes to cigar, anybody can enjoy a good cigar. You don't have to have money, you don't have to be a celebrity, you don't have to be nothing.
Hmm.
As long as you wanna be open mind and really explore what this community is all about, you are going to learn what this beautiful cigar industry is all about. So, well, come back to what I was telling you. So I was like, hey, I'm here. I got my resume. I'm ready to tackle the war. I went to every single cigar factory back home. Nobody had nothing. But it didn't discourage me. I was like, fuck it, man. I'm gonna find something. Then I kind of knew that it was this small little cigar factory in my hometown, in downtown Esteli, which was the Gringo factory. And the Gringo factory was Drew Estate. And why we
Hmm.
call it the Gringo factory? Because we used to see Jonathan Drew. I didn't know Jonathan personally, but my other friends says, bro, there's this Gringo loco that is running down the streets in Esteli. Maybe he might give you a job. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and apply myself. And then I went, give my resume, and 3 days after they called me for the interview. And the interview it was Nicolas Melillo from Foundation Cigars.
Oh, okay.
People that
Awesome.
follow Foundation Cigar, they know about Huehuense, they know about Tabernaculo, amazing cigar brands that Nicolas make nowadays because he
Hmm.
found his own cigar company. He's doing amazing, man. So it was him and it was Manuel Rubio, who was, oh, well, he still is, our operation manager of the little factory back in that time. So they said to me, hey, we like your resume, but we don't have any position for you. But if you want to work, come tomorrow and then we're going to find something for you to do. I show up the next day with a notebook and a pen because what you learn in school, it doesn't mean nothing. You are starting everything from scratch.
Hmm.
So I remember the first few months, the company sent me to spend time with guys from the fermentation area, spend time in the tobacco farms, tobacco where we buy tobacco. I mean tobacco, yeah, where we buy raw material from. I spent a few months in the production floor. I spent a few months in the quality control department. I spent a few months in the packaging warehouse, spent a few time in the packaging warehouse, and spent a little time in subculture studios. And then at the same time, I was translating to anybody that was coming to the factory to have meetings with the guy in the factory. So I start to see in 360 degree how the little factory operates. One thing that we have back in that time, Mike, it was the Drew Estate. What we were doing back in that time, we were renting 11 different houses in downtown Esteli in order to operate as a cigar factory.
Oh,
We
wow.
didn't have the building that we have nowadays. And then right around 2006, that's when Jonathan Drew decided to buy a piece of land in the west side of the city. And then Jonathan, his vision, he built this beautiful, amazing cigar factory. And then we moved into that new facility in July 9, 2007. And I remember my first task, my bosses sent me with a group of ladies to go and clean the floors because there is a lot of dust after you
Oh, yeah.
build a house or anything, there is a lot of dust and then they have to clean it up. And then I went there and then we start to work everything from that facility. And one thing that Jonathan Drew told me was, hey, stick around because what we are planning to do, we are planning to open a tourism department. I was like tourism department, man. The only thing that I know when it comes to cigar are factories and people that are making cigars and farms that they are growing tobacco. I don't know what this guy is talking about, but Then, and when I start to work very close to Jonathan, that's when I start to understand where was his vision, where his mind was. A year after they finished up building Cigar Safari, which is our tourism department back home. At
Hmm.
that time, before I joined Cigar Safari, I was the before I was doing whatever they asked me to do, and then a year and a half after they promote me to be the operation manager assistant. So I was assistant to the operation manager. I was assistant to Nicolas Melilla. And then they gave me the opportunity to run the cigar safari tours. Back in that time, it was Jonathan Drew giving the tours to retailers and end consumers that were coming to Nicaragua. I started to pick a lot of knowledge from Jonathan. I started to pick a lot of knowledge from Nicolas Melillo. I started to pick a lot of knowledge from Steve Sackham. Started to pick a lot of knowledge from Marvin Samuel. Everybody have their own style and everybody have their own way to describe how we make cigars in Nicaragua. And then 2, 3 years after, they said to me, "Hey, you have done so many tours because when we were not doing the tours, I was giving the tours to the backpackers. All these people that were hanging out in Esteli, they didn't have nothing to do. They would say, hey, you know what? Let's go and see a cigar factory. I would like to go and take some picture with this fancy camera. I mean, back in that time, we didn't have no of these smartphones and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So when they called me from the administration office, hey, we have a group of gringos right here, Pedro, and they want a tour. Sure. And everything that I have been learning from those people that I mentioned to you from the fermentation area, production floor, quality control department, all of those areas, I had the opportunity to practice with these people, given the whole tour. They were thinking like it was like 30-minute tour. No, my tours back in those days was like half day, like 5 hours, 6 hours. I was bleeding these people ears. I was like, oh man, dude, I don't know, man. You're telling so much stuff and it's hard to keep up. No, man, this is how we do right here, man.
Yep.
And then I was putting my heart and my passion into it, and then when the opportunity came for me to give the tours to the retailers and end consumer, it was great. And then I started to do it. I hired other people to assist me, and then
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot for sure. So
yeah,
you
it's a
definitely
lot,
needed
man.
that help.
It is a lot because you have to make sure that everything in the factory is running on point. Breakfast is on point and on time. Lunch, cigars, drinks, everything. To me, Mike, back in those years, if I was running the tours, I was putting myself in this situation. If these people will ever remember Nicaragua, they will always remember Drew State. If
Absolutely.
they think about Drew State, they better be thinking about Nicaragua because I'm putting myself 120%, and forget about the extra mile. I was giving everything from Sunday to Sunday, running all those tours, man, making everything happen. And I was very happy to do it because they were coming to my hometown and they were coming to see and witness something that is made by hand. So to me,
Absolutely.
of course, if we're gonna shine, let me tell you and let me show you how we do it up in here. And then right after that, they gave me right around 2011, they give me the opportunity to run the international sales. At that time, we didn't have nobody running international sales. Everything was concentrating in the American market right here in the United States. So when Jonathan found out that I had an international commerce background from school, they say, "Hey, we don't have nobody to run the international sale. That's something that I would like to do, and you know what? I want you to do it." I was like, "Sir, thank you for this opportunity. I truly appreciate it. One thing for sure, though, is this: I do know how to give a tour, but I don't know how to sell a cigar." He said to me, "Don't worry about it. We're gonna send you to Miami, and the guys in the sales department they are going to give you a sales training." So they gave me 2 weeks. Before I went to the sales training, I had a lot of expectations from people in the factory. I said, I don't know if Pedro's gonna pull this one out. A lot of expectation from my family, and the worst of all, my own expectation, the pressure that I was putting on myself to get that opportunity. Because If I didn't pass the sales training, forget about that fancy title, the international sales director. Forget about it. I was like, man, I'm gonna do my best. So it was 2 weeks. The last week, I mean, the last day of that trip, I have to give a presentation in front of the sales guys, in front of our president back in that time, Mike Solucci, and of course in front of all those guys. And then when I was doing my spiel, I was combining technical knowledge that I know from the factoring and the things that I learned those 2 weeks. So it was like a easy breezy type of thing. Of course, at the end of the day, when you are, I never said selling cigars. I always say presenting something, because to me, if somebody's gonna buy something, when it comes to cigar, a lot of people out there are open mind to try a new cigar.
Uh-huh.
If the cigar is good enough, the cigar will sell by itself. The
Exactly.
only thing that you have to do, you and I, Mike, because we are kind of, when I'm doing events, we are on the same page as you are. It's
Uh-huh.
about reading somebody's palate and suggesting something that is gonna be right in that person's alley. And then from there, the person could make the mind, hey, I'm gonna buy one. Well, I'm gonna buy two. You know what? Fuck, I'm gonna buy 10. You know what? I'm gonna buy a box because I know that
Fuck
with
it, I'm
this
gonna buy
card,
3 boxes. I've
yeah,
seen
I
that
mean, or
happen.
whatever. And then that was something that I was putting myself into it. I started to run the international sales. I started to open different accounts in different countries. I had the opportunity to open 9 different countries for Drew Estate. Until Jonathan Drew, he said, hey, you are very good at running the tours. You are doing a good job of running the international sales. I will love you. I will want you to come and work for us in the United States. So you better train somebody in order for you to take your position in Cigar Safari. But you know what? At the same time, wait a minute. Let's do it. He went like this. Let's do something like this. You are going to travel, and then you're going to be running the Cigar Safari tours because I can't trust nobody yet. So I trust you, and I know that you're gonna. I know you being in Nicaragua running tours, everything is gonna be fine. So I hire somebody, and then when the company finally brought me here with a work visa, I was traveling 6 months out of the year, 6 months out of the year, all over the United States doing cigar events, and I was loving it. And the thing was that people that I was hosting in Nicaragua and doing the cigar safari tour, I mean, going to do events with them, it was a no-brainer. A lot of people were coming to show up and support and come and say hi. It was great to hang out and see those people again. And then I started to do that 6 months in Nicaragua, 6 months here until 2015. That's when the company asked me, hey, we need you here, buddy. So forget about you going to Nicaragua in December and coming back in May. We need you the whole year around doing events. I was like, let's do this. And then, long story short, that has been what I have been doing with Drew Estate when it comes to things that I have accomplished while traveling with Drew Estate in the United States.
And
I,
also, I'm not trying to cut you off
yeah, yeah,
because it's all great, but and you just officially became an American citizen, is correct? I
I
just I
know,
just
man.
heard the announcement, so congratulations to
No,
you, officially an American citizen now.
thank you so very much. And now that I have the time, I always say this. Everybody that knows me, they know this. I will never be here without Jonathan Drew,
Hmm.
without him believing in me. Because Mike, in life, I always say and I always believe that all of us, we have at least one opportunity. One opportunity, at least one goddamn fucking shot. Some people, when they see the opportunity coming in front of your eyes, sometimes people don't see it. Other people, they see the opportunity and they also measure the sacrifice and they say, forget about it. I'm not going to take this. That's too much for me. Other people, they see the opportunity and they see the sacrifice and they say, fuck it, let's go all the way. And that has been my mentality since day one. So, but
Absolutely.
for me, in order to have those opportunities, the first opportunity that I had, it was from Jonathan. First of all, like having the opportunity, like literally speaking, like rewinding myself and going back. Yes, it was Drew Estate, the company itself, the company that Jonathan Drew found in mid 90s. Me coming joining Drew Estate in 2006, and then having the opportunity to work with different people in the factory, learning from all those people, learning and getting as much knowledge as I could. And even still nowadays, I still learning. I listen to people. I have seen many of your show, man. The amount of guests that you bring to your show is amazing. And what you
Man,
have
I
been doing
appreciate
for,
it.
for the industry, Mike, is extremely beautiful to see and watch, because there is so much that a company can do in thinking about marketing, promoting, swag, and all that kind of stuff. But everybody follows somebody, and everybody have their own style. So the people that follows you, the people that watch this show, they appreciate the time and the beautiful thing that you do for them. You know,
Absolutely, man.
and
I
that's
appreciate those words.
absolutely, because and for me, when it comes to the industry, it's not one man show. It takes a village to make something,
Hmm.
and it takes a whole town to keep that thing going. Anybody can create a beautiful cigar brand, but what about keeping that brand relevant? What
Hmm.
about growing that brand? What about keeping that brand not just for and not just keeping, like, getting that brand to be 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and people are still smoking, people are still suggesting that brand. Something magical have to happen, and the magical touch is hard work. The magical
Absolutely.
touch is a lot of passion. The magical touch is about sacrificing a lot. The magical touch is about only thinking to do the best that you can. That's the magical touch. Nobody has the magical touch in nothing, bro. If you were asked Steve Jobs how he created Apple, endless night. How Bill Gates found and create Microsoft, endless hours. It's just like that. People see, sometimes people might see the surface of everything, and you might see the iceberg, the little thing on top of the surface, but underneath there is a huge mountain of things that people don't see, and a lot of people that make a lot of things happen. So to me, when it comes to opportunities, Mike, everything is about taking advantage and doing the best that you can, and always being grateful, and most importantly, being humble.
Absolutely. That's the number one key is being humble. And then it's hard to do when a lot of people know who you are. Like me and you, like a lot of people literally they know us, so it's just it's hard to do for sure. Now, I want to hold that thought because I do have a sponsor that I got to get to. I'm gonna put you down below again and give them their shout out. We got a lot more topics. Like I only
Yes,
asked one question, and you're the easiest interview by far in Herf's Zone Live history. So we do have more topics to get with and everything. I'm gonna ask one more question after we get to this sponsor ad, and then and I'm sure this show's not gonna last a full an hour. We're gonna go over time if that's cool with you because
absolutely,
you
man.
got a lot of good stuff to say. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna do a little sponsor and shout them out, and I'll be right back with you. I'll put you down below. All right. So Herf's Zone Live is sponsored by Nomos Cigars, rated 91 in Cigars and Spirits magazine. Nomos is a full body 6x56 cigar that features a rich, full flavor accomplished with our high quality construction and exclusive aging process. Once the fine cigar is born, it immediately begins our exclusive Nomos Aging Process nap. While each cigar naps, it continues to develop its unique aroma and flavor that sets itself apart from any other cigar the world over. It is a delicious medium smoke resulting from the finely aged Cameroon wrapper and blend of 8-year-old seco Dominican filler and 5-year-old Nicaraguan criollo filler. The Indonesian Sumatran binder finishes the cigar ingredients with the finest quality tobacco available. This exclusive blend provides a beautiful smoke right down to the last nub. Check out www.nomoscigars.com for info on where to find retailers that carry Nomos cigars. Orders are also available on their website. Also follow them on Instagram at Nomos Cigars. All right. And before I bring Pedro back, remember, make sure you leave comments. Everybody's been commenting. We got this that's going to be given away after the show with the ashtray and everything related to it. So we got some more topics to cover with Pedro. I'm going to go ahead and bring him back, and we'll do the drawing directly after the show. All right, Pedro, we're back.
We're
And
back. We're
yeah,
back in the
so
game, Mike.
I think you are probably the only other person that's even more passionate than I am. Like, because I'm very passionate, when it comes to cigars. And normally, like on Tuesdays, I don't know, for some reason, I got plenty of sleep today or
Yeah,
last night. And then I'm just so full of energy. You got me energized. So, um, but ever since, I mean, the pandemic, forced you guys to really do a lot of stuff differently. You know what I'm saying? Like you're very well known for the in-person events, and you started doing a lot of virtual events, with retailers and all that. Um, but most recently, last month or 2 months, I don't know. Last month, a month or two ago now, you guys had the very first Drew Estate barn smoker, and I unfortunately could not make it. Last time I went was like 2 years ago when I was still with Stogie Press.
that's
But
right.
like describe to me and everyone else, like those who could make it new, you know how it was. But after a 2 year hiatus due to COVID and everything, like what was that energy like coming back? And now we got some more barn smokers, coming up and everything. But like what was that like for you personally, but also as a company coming back to full mode on in-person events?
Absolutely, man. Well, first of all, let me show you something like this.
Oh
Bar
yeah, that's
smoker.
sexy.
I mean, I don't know how. It's not the BIP. Everybody's a BIP when it comes to Drew State, but I will tell you like this: this is the type of swag that you're gonna be getting, not just the hat. When it comes to what is a barn smoker, man? Well, let's start it from the big picture, and then we go to details. How about that? The barn smoker by Drew Estate is the ultimate American tobacco experience right here in the United States, brought by Drew Estate. So basically, we do different barn smoker in different locations.
Hmm.
We have the one three that was we had this one 3 weeks ago in Florida. That's in Clearmont, Florida, and that one
Yep.
is called the Florida Barn Smoker, where you have close to 1,300 people that come in 3 days event. The people come to this beautiful tobacco farm in Clearmont, Florida, and is by the way is owned by Jeff, the owner of Corona Cigars.
Jeff
And
Borshowitz, baby,
Jeff
shouts out to you.
Borchwas, that's right. So he grows tobacco over there, and we use tobacco from Clearmont, Florida, and certain cigars that we make. One of them, matter of fact, is the new one that we released last year in December, which is called 20 Acre Farms. And basically, that one is a medium body cigar, very nice and creamy, with a lot of rich flavor notes. So we use tobacco from there. So basically, when people go there, we provide everybody, cigars to smoke, swag for them to have, food, drinks. We have Cigar for Warriors, which is a non-profit organization where they raise money and they collect cigars from retailers and end consumers. And what they do, they send those cigars to our soldiers that are deployed in other countries. So we support them big time by giving them beautiful raffle items for them to raffle at the end of the Barn Smoker, and also for them to sell tickets, raise some money, and then keep the organization going. Make sure that the our troops got their cigars in their hands, because I mean, freedom doesn't come for free, bro.
Absolutely.
And the ultimate prize that our heroes have paid have been with their own life. So we as a company, we do our best to take that cause, this beautiful cause, to the masses. And whoever have that appreciation, of course, who doesn't love the troops. At some point, people up there, they have family relatives that have served in the military.
Mm-hmm.
uncles, dads, moms, sisters, brothers, sons, grandfathers, grandparents, grandkids, and then that's what we do at the Barn Smoker. Another thing that we do have tobacco stations, which is basically tobacco. When we say station, is when you have Jonathan Drew in the Cure Barn
Yep.
teaching you and telling you everything about what happens in the Cure Barn, or
And it's
how
an
they
experience
cure
like no
tobacco,
other.
like
Like no
no
other.
other,
No
like
other.
no other, no other. And then you have Willie Herrera, who is teaching everybody how to blend cigars using different type of tobacco, but most importantly, using the tobacco that comes out of Clearmont, Florida. Then you have Jeff Bourgeois and myself giving a presentation about tobacco seed, baby tobacco plants, transplanting those baby tobacco plants, harvesting those tobacco leaves, and the whole 9 yard from A to Z. So all that big group, we break it down in three different groups. Everybody goes to different stations. So this way we don't have, so many people that nobody can listen to nobody. And then on top of that, we got a lot of things happening between when we finish the tobacco station to the point where we do the raffles and the whole 9 yards. So we have these beautiful activations where people go play a little game, win a beautiful, amazing cigar from whatever that activation is. It could be Underground, it could be Herrera Esteli, it could be Joya Nicaragua, it could be Acid Cigars, it could be Deadwood, it could be any of those. And then after that, people have the opportunity to experience what it's like to be in a tobacco farm, because everybody loves to go to a cigar lounge, smoke their cigar, and fix the world's problems. But what about you going to a tobacco farm and experience what everything that takes place in a tobacco farm? And why we did the barn smoker, it was because the cigar safari, the tour, the trips that we do in Nicaragua, the waiting list for people to go to Nicaragua is endless. We knew that it will be impossible to do it. So
Mm-hmm.
when we do this, we bring cigar safari to the United States. So besides Florida, we got Pennsylvania that is coming up next month. We also have Connecticut, we have Kentucky, and we have the last but not least, Savage Fees in Dallas, which is the new one that we are adding to the Barn Smoker program. So for us, Mike, as a company, everything is about building those experience. A cigar is a cigar. A cigar can be great, but if this cigar have, or when you smoke that cigar, enjoying or having an amazing experience, guess what you're gonna smoke next? Just like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just like that. A cigar, you have those amazing cigars that they can be in the shelf and they could be just collecting dust because nobody talks about it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have end consumers and retailers that have been part of the barn smoker, that have been part of Cigar Safari, or we have the privilege to go to their store and host a Drew State event, that's when you build that connection. That's when people put human faces to cigar brands. And most importantly, that's when people see not just the story or where the name come from and everything in between. It's about the sharing moment that you have with a cigar that you truly enjoy and you are in a doing the barn smoking, maybe with your dad, maybe with your wife, maybe with your best friend. It is those type of experience that always take you back to the first love, to the first love, my friend. And that's when it comes to the barn smoker, we put a lot of effort, we invest a lot of resources, and at the end of the day, an event is not an event if the people doesn't show up. And
Exactly.
thank
And
God,
that they do.
all our barn smoker have been almost sold out. I mean, when we did Florida, it was 1,300 people. We have 350 people for the VIP dinner. That's when I stole this hat. Don't tell nobody.
Shh.
And then Saturday we have 500 people on Saturday, and then we have 500 people on Sunday. Different people.
Yep.
And that's the beauty when you build something and people come and support. So for everybody that have been attending to our Barn Smoker, thank you so very much, because you could be anywhere in the world, but you picked to be with us. And everybody that are planning to attend to the Barn Smoker for the first time, let me tell you something. You use made a great decision, and it's going to be a priceless experience. If you're coming to our Barn Smoker with somebody to share with, let me tell you that it's gonna be a experience that you are always going to talk about. How was your experience, brother? Because I can be talking about Barn Smoker left and right. How was
Man,
your
my
experience 3 years ago?
yeah, my experience was this was in 2019, so I was still a part. I was still a contributor to Stogie Press, so I went, and Drew Estate sponsored Stogie Press, so I had the privilege of going with Boston Jimmy, and it was awesome. It was just as you described it, the three different stations: F, Station S, Station G, spells out FSG. The food was phenomenal. I mean, the cigars, like, we got the Liga A, you know what I'm saying, like, which is very rare. So I mean, like, it was a great experience to smoke that, and Jonathan Drew, like, here's a little known story. I don't think I've told it a lot publicly, but way before I was shirtless Mike, and way before I had a name in the cigar industry, this was like back in like 2014. I met Jonathan Drew, and I got to hang out with him, Jeff Borshowitz, and Shorty Rossi from the show Pit Boss. And after that, like, every single time that I met Jonathan Drew, like, he just immediately, I've hung out with him several times since then, and like, this man almost never forgets a face. And like, I just don't know how he could do it, because like, I'm pretty good with faces, but he even remembers names. So I seen him, he was like, "Yo, shirtless Mike, what's going on, bro?" And like, it's always all love every time I see him. So
That's awesome, man. That's how Jonathan is. And you know what? One thing how I fall in love with real estate, Mike. When I joined the factory back in those days, I saw the culture where everybody is equal. Nobody, if this is the CFO,
yep,
Mr. Money guy.
yep,
Oh, this is Manuel Rubio, our operational manager. Everybody is equal, and you can see that commodity, like, I mean, the friendship and the relationship among all these different departments. I was like, man, this is really cool. And
yep,
when I met Jonathan, I said, how you doing, bro? And Dan was like, man, this is the boss, somebody that doesn't look like a cigar maker. Not he didn't come, in suit and tie. He come with sandals, short, t-shirt, and a hat. And he was
hmm,
shaking everybody's hand, asking everybody about their families, hugging and kissing everybody. I was like, whoa. If I want to work for somebody, I would love to work for this man. And
hmm,
I'm gonna do my goddamn best.
yep.
And that,
And plus,
yeah,
Drew Estate is the main company. I'll say, I won't say only, because there's a few others, but they're the only company in the cigar industry that they just let people be themselves.
that's true.
Like, you got Will McFall, like, he's always joking about, saying something wrong, and getting reported to HR and all that type of stuff. And I mean, like, what company does that? Like, I could do that at the job that I work, at the shop I work at, as long as I'm not going too overboard. I got to wear a shirt during work hours though, but everybody still knows, hey, shirtless Mike, all that. So
That's awesome, man.
I mean,
That's
it's
very nice.
it's a pretty awesome culture, to say the least. So,
And you know what? I got a
um,
question for you, Mike. I know that you have social
absolutely,
media, but it's good for these people that are checking us out right now. I just want to give a very quick announcement, because I hit my man Mike with this question. So shout out to Gene W. Boyley. Thank you so very much for being with us. James, my brother, Barry Bonds Argentoni. Is the Barn Smoker going to make it to the Louisiana? Barry, unfortunately, this year we're not gonna be in Louisiana, but we hope to see you maybe in Kentucky, maybe in Connecticut, maybe in Dallas.
yeah.
Randy,
Bones is in Mississippi, so
oh,
he's
there you
hoping to
go.
be like super close.
All right, Bombs. Maybe I might see you in one of those locations. So, Randy, thank you so very much for being with us. We have Steve Fuller. He is saying Finish Gaze is my cigar of the year so far in 2022. Romeo Lombardi, thank you so very much, Romeo. Dude, he's dying to try the Nica Rustica Adobe. Dude, that's a great smoke. Everybody that has been tuning with us, Allison, thank you so very much for tuning with us. James, Steve, all of those guys. So, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for your time. Thank you for checking us out. Some of you are gonna be the lucky winner because we're gonna give amazing prizes. Is that right, Mike?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, just like I've explained to everybody, I'll re-explain it just in case anybody tuned in late or whatever. But right after the show, I already have. It's not like pre-scheduled because I have to go and to all the sources and put the wheel together and everything. But wherever you tuned in from, whether it's my Facebook page, the Shirtless Mike page, or on YouTube. Then I will be going live once I get all as soon as I get all that put together, and I'll do the drawing on there, and then everyone will have 24 hours to reach out. I'll give you the information to reach out to me, and then I will get you your prize. And if you're local, I'm not gonna ship it to you. If you're local, you gotta come pick it up at the shop, you know. But if
You might sell some Drew
I,
Estate cigar to that person, right? Just joking.
what's that?
No, I would say, if they're gonna go to your store and picking those cigars up, they
Yeah,
have to pick some Drew Estate cigars.
yeah, and we don't have a huge selection of Drew Estate, but we do have a decent selection um, of Drew Estate, and hopefully in the future we'll get more because it's a great brand, and and me being known, just these type of relationships. I'm trying to bring that locally to Brevard County because I'm nationally known, so why not benefit the place that I work and help us become that national shop. So
Absolutely, brother. And you know what? Now that you say that, I would like to ask you this, and I'm very sure that everybody would like to ask you this. And since the show is not just about Drew Estate, it's not just about me, well, it's also about you, Mike. And out of everybody that you have brought to the microphone, I have a few questions, but I'm gonna hit you up with the first one right now.
all
How
right.
you come up with the concept, shirtless Mike? How the idea came to be?
Yeah, so that basically it kind of happened by accident. When I'm at home, it's hot here in Florida, as you know, and I'm always in my garage. I used to work a different job where I would get off of work late at night, and I would post pictures in various cigar groups of me smoking cigars while I'm shirtless. And eventually, some people would kind of troll me or whatever, but some people was like showing a lot of love. And then I would see people say, "Hey, it's shirtless Mike," and then from there, when I basically just started running with it. I was like, "Hey, I'm shirtless Mike," and so it all started organically and by accident. So
That's awesome, man. And what gets you into the cigars? What was the experience, or who was the person that introduced you to cigar? How that thing came to be? Because
nobody in particular. It's just I was, when I turned 18, you could still buy cigars at 18, and I was like, I want to do something that I could do when I'm 18. So I was like, I never wanted to smoke cigarettes ever. And so I was like, hey, let me buy a cigar. And I bought some cigars online. I didn't really know what I was doing and tried different ones. And then the shop that I work at now used to be in the mall, in the Merritt Island Mall. And so it was a small little shop. I walked in there, and there was a guy named Jordan who used to work there. Still cool with him to this day. And he I would go in there from time to time, and then I started recommending some stuff, and I would just order cigars online variously or whatever. And from there I just got into it, and then my home cigar lounge, Paradise Cigars, that is no longer open, but when they were open for 9.5 years, that's when it became my everyday lifestyle, just because of the people. And that's where I cut my teeth at. So
that is awesome, man. Well, I have another question too.
all right. Pedro's taking over the show,
Dude,
but
now I'm
I
taking
wouldn't have it
dude.
any other way.
No, but check this out, man, because you were the face of your show. People tuning into your show, one of them to see your guests, another one is to listen to you, If somebody asks you, Mike, why do you smoke cigars? What is
Why
the
do
thing that you enjoy about cigars? So how
it?
can you take the question, and how can you answer that what is your take based on your experience of you
Yeah.
being in the industry, having a cigar show, being in the retail side, meeting all different type of people and having friends all over the country. So maybe one of your cousins or any friend that does have never smoked a cigar in their life, how can you take that question?
Well, it's about the relaxation, just getting that time to yourself. Um, it's just fun. Period. It's one of those things where a lot of times people and I'm not getting political here, but people in certain political persuasions are like, like, oh, this, I'm so inclusive, blah blah blah. Well, cigars is the only culture that I can think of that is truly all inclusive. It doesn't matter what your political background is, whatever, what your racial background is, whether you're black, white, brown, blue, purple, whatever. And it's the most inclusive subculture out there. So you cannot go wrong with with cigars, because it's not even all about the cigar itself. It's about the people. It's like a rolled up tobacco, a rolled up leaf, tobacco leaf, brings people from all walks of life together. And name another subculture that does that. You really can't.
That's true. Very true, man. And I like how you put it from your own experience. That is very amazing, man. And that's beautiful, man. That is very, very nice, and I respect that, my friend.
Absolutely. I had a few questions that I saw here, that I wanted, to have some audience members put in the chat here. I'm gonna go with Adam Machado first. It says, "Do you smoke anything else besides DE?"
Adam, my brother from another mother, thank you so very much for your question. Of course, bro. Of course, I smoke all of the stuff, especially when I can get that stuff for free. Those are the best. Those are the goddamn best. But I will tell you something. If somebody asks me, hey, what has been the amazing cigars? Not DE, not Hoya, Nicaragua. There's so many great cigars up there. And one thing that I do, man, I take the time. That's first thing first. You have to have the time to smoke a new cigar. I like to read about this cigar before I light that cigar up. Like to read, from any sources in the internet, where that cigar is from, who made that cigar, where is the tobacco that is on it, and basically, taking the time to smoke the cigar. And every time that I had the opportunity to get a cigar from friends, I take a picture and I send it to them. Yo, thank you so very much. It was a great smoke. And I mean, like, when was it? 2 days ago, I smoked Oliva Milanio. I mean, it's not that this is my first. I have been smoking them many times, but I got this one as a gift. Of course, I have to light that one up. I like, a lot of cigar from other countries too, Carlitos Fuentes, of course, La Flor Dominicana. I like uh, Roman Craft. I love stuff that Steve Saka makes, as well as Nicolas Melillo,
Hmm.
New cigars, Aventura, great smoke. I got that cigar from my friend in Michigan, and he said, "Hey, you gotta try this, try that, try this, try that," and I love it.
Are we talking
Pete Johnson,
Hishihashi?
hmm?
Are we talking Ronnie Hishihashi?
Yes, Ronnie. He, yeah, he hooked me every time that I go and see him.
Ronnie's
Uh,
a
Pete,
Ronnie's a legend. That is
yes,
all you
Pete
had to say was
Johnson.
Michigan.
Yeah, Pete Johnson, bro. My father's cigars, Plasencia. There are so many great cigars up there. That's why I always say I'm not gonna smoke it right now, sir, but I'm gonna smoke it next week when I find the time to smoke. Matter of fact, the one
Exactly.
that I was smoking right now, believe it or not, it has this one right here, Diplomatico. Let's see if the camera take this one. It's called
Oh, nice.
Diplomatico. It say Diplomatico 2021. It comes from the factory that is called Mombacho. They are based out of Granada
Yep.
in Nicaragua.
Yep.
And, to me, bro, it's about being open mind. How the hell am I gonna be talking about Drew Estate cigars, and how I'm gonna be recommending cigars if when somebody say, hey, I smoke Padron 1926. I was like, sir, that's an amazing cigar brand. I might find something that you might enjoy. It's not that I'm not gonna say this is the best cigar because there is not a best cigar out there, man. There are cigars that you enjoy.
Hmm.
There are cigars that are good. There are cigars that are great, but they are not good to your palate. It's nothing wrong with that. At the end of the day, a cigar, should and must have a heart and a soul. And every time that you puff that cigar, Mike, you're gonna be stirring that cigar down. Like, dude, what the hell is this? And maybe you're having a conversation with your buddy, but your eyes always gravitate to the band of the cigar that you're smoking. That means
Hmm.
that you got something good. You know what, bro? When you smoke okay cigars, you forget about them. When you smoke good cigars, you will never forget about the name. Forget about what you paid. Good times are priceless. If you had a great time with a goddamn good cigar, fuck it. You're gonna go do your best to find that cigar anywhere,
Hmm.
to go and chase the experience that you had in the first place.
Absolutely. It's all about a great experience. So now we're gonna end on this because I can't be having us go on for 2 3 hours or whatever. But you guys have had a lot of new releases. You guys recently announced the Nika Rustica Adobe and everything. And what was like that purpose behind now? Nick, was that a change of blend, or was that or was that just like a particular size?
No, no,
I
no. I'm glad that you asked that question. So when it comes to Drew Stay, I'm very fortunate to work in marketing. So I work with Jonathan and the whole team, Joe Grow, Jack, Ryan, all those guys, Gary, Eric, Thomas, all of those crazy guys. So and all of those guys are cigar guys. They think not just in the they don't just think about the end consumer, they think about retailers, they think about things that could work better, because at the end of the day, when you make a cigar, Mike, everything is about not just make a cigar and forget about it. It's make a cigar and managing that brand. Make that cigar and keep that brand relevant. Make that cigar and not just make what you make this year, but increasing the amount and bringing more people into the Drew Stay boat. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to Drew Stay, we got cigar for everybody up there. And I'm talking
absolutely.
about infused cigars, non-traditional cigars, and traditional cigars. Infused cigars like acid. A lot of people be like, "Oh my god, man, I don't smoke those infused cigars." But guess what? Maybe some people 20 years ago start to smoke acid and now they're smoking Liga Privada. Now
Hmm.
forget about our brands. Now they are smoking Joya de Nicaragua. Now they are smoking and enjoying Carlitos Fuentes. Now they are smoking Padron cigars. Acid is a great smoke as an introduction premium
Yep.
cigar.
And they sell. But now that I really see that now that I'm in retail, acid they sell
They sell like crazy. And
like
and
hotcakes.
and you know what? To me, I would like to take the time and thank everybody for their business. Thank you so very much for buying our cigars. Thank you so very much for spending that hard-earned money with us. And it's not that, oh my God, yo, those cigars sell. Yeah, they sell, man. That's why we have to work even harder to keep those cigars as they are. It's
Hmm.
not about doing like taking shortcuts. That stuff doesn't fly in the cigar industry because you got guys that smoke only underground. That's the only thing that they smoke. And guess what? Once they see something that has changed, they switch to something else. But I'm gonna take your question. What about the adobe? There you go. The adobe, the Nica Rustica. Well, let me start off with this. In 2013, Drew State launched this brand that is called Nica Rustica broadleaf. And the Nica Rustica broadleaf, aka El Brujito, means the little shaman, which is the little guy that you see in the logo of the cigar. So Nica Rustica back in 2013, it was a cigar that has amazing broadleaf wrapper that we import out of the state of Connecticut. It has Nicaraguan filler. That's right, that guy right there. There you go. Nicaraguan filler. This cigar is medium to full. It has that beautiful, complex, earthy taste that you just can't get enough. And is extremely amazing to your wallet because it has a beautiful price point. So
Mm-hmm.
that was 2013, and then it took 9 years for us to come out with the extension of Nica Rustica, which nowadays is the Nica Rustica Dove. And people will be like, yo, what's different between the Nica Rustica Dove and the regular Nica Rustica? Or the Nica Rustica Dove, it has a Habano grapper and it has Nicaraguan fillers. The cigar is medium plus. It's not medium to full, it's just medium plus. Another thing that Nica Rustica has, it enhances the logo of Nica Rustica, which is El Brujito, which is the official symbol from my hometown with Esteli, Nicaragua. And then Nica Rustica represent what Esteli is all about. When it comes to the price point, it has amazing price point. And how we launched that brand, Mike, and I'm glad that you touched a little bit about the virtual events. When there is a crisis happening, guess what?
Mm-hmm.
You figure it out and see where the opportunity is. It's not that, when it comes to crisis, people get freaked out like any of us, but you have to keep your head on your shoulders and think things through. So how we came out with Nica Rustica, how we launched Nica Rustica, it was through our freestyle life. So basically, what we do, we come out with thousands of different those beautiful freestyle life packs.
Mm-hmm.
Those pack people go to the retailer store, get those cigars from them. There are three mystery cigars. Nobody know what the name is. And on top of that, there is swag that comes with it. A cutter and a lighter, a three-finger travel case humidor. Something like that. Something to enhance what you are buying. And
Yep.
people are gonna find out the name of that cigar and what that cigar is all about the date that we are doing the freestyle live show. When it comes to the freestyle live show, you got Jonathan Drew, the founder of Drew Estate. You got Willie Herrera, the master blender of Drew Estate. You got Frankie Drinks, the guy that has a beautiful, amazing show on Wednesday at 7 p.m. on Facebook, on Drew Estate Facebook page. You got Juan Martinez, who is the president of Joya de Nicaragua, and then you got myself. And everybody talk about something, related to what we are doing in that particular night. So I had the opportunity to launch Nica Rustica, a cigar that it has amazing flavor. Medium plus. It's not even medium body.
Yep.
It's medium plus because it has Nicaraguan tobaccos that we use, tobaccos from Esteli, tobacco from Jalapa. The cigar has a very nice rustic appeal to your palate. It really rough to the edge, but somehow you find some sweetness into it. The price point is really good because when it comes to cigar, it's not about the amount of the different cigar brands that you can make flavor wise. It's also when you're thinking about a company like Drew Estate is having a portfolio of different cigars when it comes to the price point. So we got factory smokes. From factory smokes, we have Nica Rustica. From Nica Rustica, you have Undercrown, Herrera Esteli, and dude, I don't want to miss none of them. Then you have Liga Privada, you have Serie Unico, you have other collaboration that we have done in the past. You got so many ones. We also represent Joya de Nicaragua in the United States, which is Joya de Nicaragua is the oldest cigar factory from Nicaragua. So at the end of the day, everything that we make, everything that we do at Drew Estate, Mike, everything have to have a purpose. Otherwise, we are not doing nothing. Drew Estate is
Mm-hmm.
not like any other company that will bring a new cigar every 3 months.
Yep.
Drew Estate not even come with cigar to say limited edition. We don't play that game.
Yep.
We don't do it because if we are going to do something, we have to compromise, not just ourselves, the entire factory in Drew Estate, in Nicaragua. Which by now, I started with Drew Estate in 2006, a small little cigar factory to the point that Drew Estate is the biggest cigar factory in Nicaragua. And we are where we are thanks to the people back home, everybody that comes work in and work out, day in and day out, I'm sorry, and everybody that can see the vision of what we are trying to accomplish. Our goal in this industry is not just to be the biggest. Forget about it. It's not about being the biggest. It's not about being the unique ones. At the end of the day, from my own personal take, Mike, and this is not something that Drew State said. It's not something that I always say to myself. When somebody say, "Hey, man, we are doing this event," wow, man, the amount of people that came and support it is amazing. For us, I see it this way. It's amazing to have that following. But for us, when somebody buys a cigar, and when most importantly, when somebody try a cigar for the first time, that person is going to smoke that cigar in his or her most intimate moment. They could be easy in smoking something else, but they say, you know what?
Yep.
Let me give it a try to this cigar that I got from that crazy Nicaraguan guy with that crazy accent. And that's what I'm gonna smoke. If the cigar is good enough, guess what? That person's gonna say, "Oh, forget about it. I'm gonna go to the cigar store. I'm gonna talk to Mike, and I'm gonna ask Mike if he has this cigar brand." And then if Mike has that cigar brand, guess what? I'm gonna tell my friends that they should be smoking this. And you know what, matter of fact, this cigar is that so damn good. I'm gonna post a picture on social media. I'm gonna let the whole world what I'm smoking. And if that person remembers me, you know what? I'm gonna tag Pedro. I'm gonna tag any of the guys from Drew Stay. What an amazing cigar is. And for us, man, one thing why I say that it was I learned that thing in a in a very interesting way. During the pandemic, we couldn't travel nowhere. I was just working from home. I was in different meetings like every day,
Hmm.
dozen of meetings every day. And at night, I was doing these virtual events with different cigar shop all across the United States. And to me, it was like, man, when everything was done, it was nowhere to go. It was nobody to talk to. I was like, man, I will smoke something. And even though I was watching the news, reading the news feed, from Google, from Facebook, and all the stuff, I mean, a lot of people dying, praying for my family back home not to get sick and not, having everybody to see everybody when I go back home and smoking a cigar. It was like, damn, man, this stuff is so good. It is so good that you can be smoking a cigar, Mike, and you could have the most shitty day, and guess what? A cigar makes everything beautiful. If you have an
Absolutely.
amazing day, a good cigar makes amazing time. So for me, when I see all those people that come and support, I don't take nobody for granted. I don't ever think, oh my God, we are the best. Nobody's the best. Everything change. Life is about changes, but you have to change with it. You have to adapt, not you as a person. You have to adapt whatever you are doing for a living. And when that thing happens, that's when you know who is who. That's when you know, okay, I've been smoking this cigar, but I'm gonna be attending to the bar and smoking. I can't wait. I've been hearing so much, and I'm gonna see what these guys are all about. And when you finally see, it's not about meeting us, it's about seeing the amount of people that go there and they go for one particular reason. It's being part of it. It's
Yep.
about being part of what everybody's talking about. It's not. It's also about not missing the great time that you had 3 years ago or 5 years ago. That's how I picture things. And when you see things, not even thinking about the money, by doing it because you love it, you never work a day in your life.
Yep. And that's my motto every single day. From now that I'm in the industry full time, I've never feel like I work a day in my life. Yeah, I do work hard when I'm at the shop and and stuff relating to my show, but it doesn't feel like it because it's something I'm passionate about.
Oh man, that's right. That's right. And I'm
Cool.
glad that you asked the question when it comes to Nica Rustica. And I hope those cigars are going to be hitting the store right now. Matter of fact, how you can find Nica Rustica Adobe, you have to go to our Drew State events. We are shipping to all those cigar stores 6 boxes. First, the first people that comes and buy those cigars, boom, that's it. There are other stores that they let everybody have the first shot to buy three or buy two. And then right around August, that's when we're gonna be shipping those cigars all across the United States. And eventually, Nica Rustic is gonna make their path to the international market, to Europe, to Africa, to Latin America, to Asia. But everything starts right here in the United States, and then from that point on, we start to managing the production in Nicaragua, managing the brand right here in the United States, and everything that we do have to make sense. Even though that we have fucked it up big times in the past, and we're still making mistakes, at the end of the day, it's like when you go to a circus, you don't know what's going on behind the curtains. The only thing that you see is whoever is the person that is upstage. For
Hmm.
us, it's not none of us. The rock star when it comes to the stage, Mike, are the cigars. That's when
Absolutely.
people go to the event. That's when people go and buy cigars. That's when people go and share those cigars. And that's when people share the passion that they have. It's not us, it's not Drew State, it's the cigar itself.
Absolutely. John Reamer says Pedro was awesome. Shouts out to my boy Rima.
Joe, my man. Thank you for tuning, brother.
Shoot, we got Australia, my boy Michael Panisi representing Australia, you know what I'm saying? So it's already Wednesday for him.
That's awesome, man. Wow. Thank you so very much, man. Thank you
Yeah,
so
man.
much.
Wait, see, Hearthstone Live's international. I got people tuning in internationally and nationally, so
It's
it's
good.
awesome, man. Man, listen, I've had such a great time on the show. I could probably go for me and you could probably go for 3 or 4 hours, but we got to know Pedro a little bit better, and I'm just super glad that you accepted the invitation to come on the show, my brother.
Thank you
And
so much, brother.
I'll definitely see you around at some point, because I make my way around whenever I can. But now that I am in the industry full time, I do stay pretty busy. But I know every time I see you at some type of event, it's all love
Thank you
every
so much,
single
bro.
every single time. And everybody out there, remember, I'm gonna get all the names and compile everything, and you'll see me go live at some point. I don't really know a time frame, but it will be tonight. I'm not gonna relax until it's all said and done. Anything else that you want to say real quick before we get out of here, Pedro?
Well, first of all, I just want to thank everybody that have been tuning with us tonight. Chico Ray, my man, thank you so very much for being with us. My mate, Mike Janessa, he's doing great right here at Drew State. Jim, everybody, Romeo, all of those guys that has been tuning with us since the beginning of the show. So thank you so very much. Everything that we do it for you, man. And secondly, I would like to thank you, Mike. Thank you for give me the opportunity to be on your show, and I truly appreciate this invitation. I
Hey, no,
told you guys,
no
hey,
problem. It's pleasure's all mine, man.
Shirtless Mike, he's invited me to his show, and I would love to be there because you have had great people. The
Yep.
last guy that I think that the last guy that you have, his name is Stone.
Yeah. Well, see that we had tech issues, so he's gonna be on next week because we barely even got into the show, and the internet started messing up. So
Oh
he
man,
will be on next week for sure.
he is amazing, bro. I met Stone when I was traveling 3 months ago in Delaware. And
Uh
then
huh.
we talked, the guy is super funny, easy guy to hang out with. And I hope that you're seeing this, brother, because my man, he also have a podcast show, and
Hmm.
he is a guy that I love cigars, great human being, and it is amazing the amount of people that you bring to your show, Mike, and I'm very sure that everybody appreciate your time.
Most
Everything
definitely.
is about the cigars, bro. And for everybody up there, I'm looking forward to see you guys. So next week I'm gonna be in Pennsylvania doing some events. The week after that I'm gonna be can't remember what it is, but go to www.drewestate.com, go to the events link, find out where all your Drew Estate events are taking place. We do events all across the country. It's not myself. It's all our territory managers that they do events in different states in the United States, different cities. So if you have the opportunity to find out that there is a Drew Estate event around your neck of your woods, don't even think about it. You go there, show up, have a good time. You never know who you're gonna meet.
Hmm.
You never know the kind of cigar that you're going to discover. And most importantly, life is too short. So if you have the time, do it because time is something that we cannot buy. In the meantime, brother, thank you so very much. Shout out to everybody
Absolutely.
that tune out with us.
All right, and everybody out there that's tuned in tonight, thank you guys very much. If it's your first time on my YouTube channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, and I'll let you know when we're not live so we can talk that real shit. And then I will go live again once I have everything prepared. You guys have a great night. Peace out.